Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Heisman Talk, your number one source of college football news on YouTube. I'm Nate Dogg, here with my co-host, Debonair D. Jackson, to break down Week 6 of our Game Day Pick'ems. And D, we got off to a quick start last week. We got back on track, both going 4-2. So as of now, you are currently 17-12. And I am 18-11. So we're back on track. We're doing good. Let's hope we can get it done again this week. D, we have a great slate of games today. Good to have you back. Good to see you in Iowa City at Kinnick Stadium, where our game of the week will be. We'll be picking that a little bit later in the show. But for now, we start with a 12 o'clock kickoff on ABC, and that is the number 6 Oklahoma Sooners versus the number 21 Texas Longhorns. Oklahoma currently favored by 3.5. D, this is a really intriguing game, not only because it's a top 25 matchup, not only because of the rich history of this game, but this could be the last time that we see these two teams playing against each other in the Red River Rivalry in the Big 12 Conference, and that's huge. So it's no wonder why we're going there. It's no wonder why Game Day is going to be there. So D, who do you have winning this game?
Yeah, Nate, there's a tongue twister for you, Red River Rivalry. In this game, man, it's kind of tough to pick. Oklahoma really hasn't been playing up to the caliber. I think that a lot of people would think a top 6 team would play, but I'm going with Oklahoma in this game, man. They're 3-point favorites. Casey Thompson has been playing really well. Since coming in for Hudson Card. But my big question is, can Texas's defense stop Spencer Rattler? I don't think so. I don't think Texas defense has shown up this year. I don't think they're a very good defense. And so for that reason, and the fact that Oklahoma does have their defense isn't great, but they have a pretty decent defense. They have a few guys that are, projected to be first-round picks in Nick Bonito and Perion Winfrey. So, I'm going to take the Oklahoma Sooners to win this game.
D, as I mentioned, this game is a huge rivalry, the Red River Rivalry. Played in Dallas, Texas at the Cotton Bowl, the famous Cotton Bowl. D, let me just give you a little background on this game. This is a game that has been played for the last 121 years. This game dates back to the year of 1900. Oklahoma is currently on a 2-game win streak against the Longhorns when playing in the Cotton Bowl. This is the first Cotton Bowl for head coach Steve Sarkisian of the Texas Longhorns, so it's going to be a great atmosphere for him to soak up and for him to come out playing. Oklahoma given a 56% chance to win. And you know what? The Sooners offense has been playing average. They've won the last 3 games by an average of 5 points or less. And this is going to be the toughest offense that the Oklahoma Sooners have seen thus far this season. I know that Texas has struggled on defense, especially against Arkansas when they only put up 21 points and gave up 41 points. But something tells me that this is a different Texas team. I'm going to take Casey Thompson and the Texas Longhorns to get this upset. Hook 'em.
Wow. Didn't expect that one, man. But, I'm going with a different pick on that one.
Well, D, we then head to another 12 o'clock kickoff, this one on ESPN, where the number 13 Arkansas Razorbacks go on the road to take on the number 17 Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss currently favored by 6 points. D, both of these teams coming off of heartbreaking losses against Georgia and Alabama, respectfully. And D, this is a chance for, these guys to get back on top in the SEC West. Who do you have winning this close matchup?
Yeah, man, like you said, both teams are coming off of painful losses. It's another game that's kind of tough to pick, man. I like Sam Pittman, and I like what he's done with that team and, with that, with that football team. but I'm gonna pick Ole Miss in this game, man. Big reason I'm picking Ole Miss is because of that offense, man. I think they'll be able to score on Arkansas. I think that the defense will play well enough being at home. I think that they'll be able to get some juice from that crowd, and I think that Lane Kiffin will be able to put up points on a very, very good Arkansas defense ran by Barry Odom. But give me Matt Corral and the Ole Miss Rebels.
Great pick, dude. Great pick. Let me tell you what, Matt Corral has had an incredible year thus far. 10 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, even after playing a great defense in Alabama. My heart says Arkansas, but like you said, Ole Miss's offense under Lane Kiffin, the tempo, the spread, it's just going to be too much for that Razorback defense. Give me Ole Miss in this one. I do believe they will cover the spread. So, then we continue on our journey of the group of 5 games, where we will be picking another group of 5 game this week, where the Wyoming Cowboys go on the road to take on the Air Force Falcons. This is a 7 o'clock kickoff on CBS SN. Air Force currently favored by 6 points. Who wins this Mountain West matchup?
Yeah, man. We love the group of 5, man. We're gonna keep giving them love, man. For this one, I'm going with Air Force. They averaged 367 yards on the ground. Their triple option offense is very, very difficult to stop, and I just don't think Wyoming's quarterback is good enough to beat Air Force. I think that with the tandem of Zeke Daniels, the quarterback of Air Force, and Brad Roberts, the running back of Air Force, I think that they run all over Wyoming, and I think that Air Force wins that game.
This is another great matchup between two teams. The Falcons of Air Force come into this game 4-1. The Cowboys of Wyoming undefeated at 4-0. So, and one great stat that I really enjoyed was the fact that Air Force comes into this game averaging 34.4 points per game. Wyoming, 34.5 points per game. So that's close. That's really close, and that's a really cool fact that I found. Falcons only giving up 16 points on defense. Cowboys averaging about 23 allowed on defense. Wyoming coming off of a bye week, and Air Force runs a really, really sneaky triple option, and we don't really get to see the triple option much in football nowadays, so that's going to be a fun game to watch. I think running back Brad Roberts of Air Force is going to have a big game. Give me the Falcons to win this one in this Mountain West showdown.
Definitely, man. Agreed.
So then we head to the East Coast in a top ACC matchup where the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, ranked number 14, go on the road in Blacksburg, Virginia to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies. Hokies are unranked right now, but they enter the game at, I believe, 4-1. Notre Dame currently in the lead in this series, 2-1. They last played in 2018-2019. This is a 7:30 kickoff on ACC Network. Notre Dame currently favored by a whopping 1 point. Who wins this close game?
Man, the atmosphere at Virginia Tech is definitely like, no other. They'll definitely be rocking in there. I think, I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I'm going to pick Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is really wanting to avenge, that loss that they had, last week against Cincinnati. They're still really looking for a quarterback, but I do think, I don't think that Virginia Tech's quarterback Braxton Burmeister is going to be able to beat that Notre Dame defense led by Kyle Hamilton. I think their defense will be Notre Dame's defense will be too much for Virginia Tech. For that reason, I'm going to pick Notre Dame.
Not so fast, D. Have you ever seen the atmosphere in Blacksburg, Virginia, on a Saturday night? Alexa, Play Inner Sandman. Give me the Hokies in this game. Jack Cohan for Notre Dame has struggled tremendously this season. And you may think, oh, the luck of the Irish is going to get it done again. Give me the Hokies. I think that atmosphere and a Saturday night kickoff is just going to be way too much for this Notre Dame offense to handle. I'm taking the Hokies in a close one. So, then we head down to the great state of Kentucky. Our first time mentioning this team, where the LSU Tigers head in to play the number 16 Kentucky Wildcats. This is a 7:30 kickoff on SEC Network. Kentucky favored by 3.5. So, who do you have winning this game?
Yeah, man. This is kind of a classic offensive versus defensive matchup. LSU with the offense, Kentucky with the defense. Usually I would go defense in that scenario, but this time I'm taking offense, man. I'm taking LSU. I think if you look at even with the two quarterbacks going up against each other, with Max Johnson, who's thrown for 16 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, and then the Kentucky quarterback Will Levis, who's thrown for 8 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So I think LSU's defense is good enough to stop Kentucky's offense. Kentucky's offense isn't that great. They're going to need more plays like they got last week with the field goal block and touchdown against Florida in order to win this game. So I think that LSU is going to score points, so give me LSU in this game.
This is a great matchup between two of the most prominent programs in SEC right now. Mostly because, Kentucky is surprising a lot of people and LSU is surprising a lot of people in the opposite way. These two teams last played in 2014. LSU currently on a 4-win streak against the Wildcats. But the special teams and the defense of this Wildcats team has really, really been strong this year. Give me the Wildcats in this game. I just think that, honestly, this could be Coach O's last game with the LSU Tigers. The run game has been non-existent. Max Johnson can't get on a roll and rhythm. And to be honest, this LSU defense has been plagued with injuries this year. So I can't see them overcoming all of those obstacles to then go on the road once again in Kentucky in a hot environment where those fans are going to be rowdy as ever. I'm taking the Wildcats. So, then we go to our matchup of the week. I got the helmets behind me. You're in Iowa City at Kinnick Stadium, where the number 4 Penn State Nittany Lions come into town to take on the number 3 Iowa Hawkeyes. This is a 4 o'clock kickoff on Fox. Iowa currently favored by 2 points. And might I mention, this is the first time in Big Ten history, if I'm correct, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that 2 teams have played against each other in the top 5 that haven't been named Ohio State or Michigan. And wow, what an atmosphere this is going to be. What a game this is going to be for the average college football fan even, but mostly for these 2 team fan bases. Who comes out on top in this one?
Yeah, first of all, Nate, feels great to be here at Kinnick Stadium, and you see the crowd that's going to be in here. They're going to be rocking in here, man.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to go with Penn State, man. It's a tough matchup because I really believe that both of these defenses are elite. I think Iowa's the better defense. The things that they've been able, they've tortured every offensive team that they've played, man. And, it's just going to be really, really tough. A big reason of why I'm picking Penn State, I think that Sean Clifford is going to show up, man. I know we kind of talked down on him earlier in the year, but he's proven me wrong. And I think that, this is Spencer Petrus's first game against an elite defense. So I'm really interested to see how he plays. If he comes out and plays well, Iowa could win. But I think that, Sean Clifford's going to have the better game. And I think that it's going to be a heck of a battle. It's going to be a field goal game. But yeah, give me Penn State, definitely.
Yeah, Dean, it looks like we have a guest caller trying to call in, but we're going to have to hold off on those until a couple more weeks when we get this show really running. But Dean, for the time being, if you're a fan of defense, if you're a fan of good old-fashioned defense, this is your game of the year, no doubt. If you like the spread offense, well, you might want to tune into that Texas-Oklahoma kickoff for the Big 12 shootout. Iowa has proven themselves time and time again. I picked against them against Iowa State, and I was wrong. The question for me is, how is Iowa going to handle the pressure, being ranked so high in such a primetime matchup? Can they come out and play efficient football? Penn State has won 6 out of the last 7. Iowa won last year. And another question mark for me is, who will Spencer Petras be on Saturday afternoon? Will he be the quarterback we saw against Maryland, or will he lay an egg? I don't know. We shall see. However, I do know that the Hawkeyes will depend heavily on running back Ty Goodson. If you are a fan of running backs, look out for this kid. I'm serious. Watch this kid's footwork. It's like Barry Sanders 2.0. D, give me the Hawkeyes to win this game. I think they're going to stay unbeaten. I think their defense is just going to be too much for Sean Clifford and that Nittany Lions offense. Give me the Hawkeyes. D, with that being said, we'll be back next Wednesday to give you a recap of this weekend's games and also award a few more lucky players and one team with our Heisman Players of the Week. So make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below. Make sure that bell notification's turned on so you can stay up to date every time we post a new video. Until then, get ready because it's going to be a great weekend of college football. As always, this is Nate Dogg and D signing off.